The GOP's health care reform bill failing to gain the support it needs on Capitol Hill, which is mired in gridlock. Will legislative progress need to come from the state level? Former governor of Minnesota, Financial Services Roundtable CEO Tim Pawlenty joins us now to tell us what he thinks. Good to see you, Governor.
Good to see you.
Governors have played a huge role in Obamacare, and many of them were kind of lured into Obamacare by free, and I put quotes around that because the federal taxpayers pay for it, Medicaid expansion, huge Medicaid expansion. How do you break that addiction?
Well, one way you do it is having the federal government not act or choosing not to act or be unable to act, and then have the states be in a position to help try to meet this issue. And it's a real issue with real people and real needs involved. And by the way, pre-Obamacare, there was a lot of innovation at the state level, even including towards getting the uninsured insured. And
well, the states are the great petri dishes. That's where the experiments take place, and the people inside the Beltway could learn a lot from the states. But you think that the inaction, perhaps in Congress, might actually force the states to learn to live without Medicaid?
Yes, and you put your finger on something very important. The founders of this country said the states are the laboratories of democracy. They're supposed to be the innovators, and if it works, scale it federally, not the other way around. Unfortunately, we've had that backwards.
We sure have. They're pretty far away from the action inside the Beltway. They could learn a lot from the states. Now, tax cuts. Art Laffer, who's one of our favorite economists, was on yesterday, and he wrote a great op-ed piece about how states could actually push forward the move to cut taxes more than the folks inside the Beltway. He said governors and mayors should be lobbying nonstop for the tax cuts proposed by Trump, which would revitalize state finances. The Trump plan would free up an estimated $2 trillion to $4 trillion in 10 years, an enormous influx of cash for state and local economies. True?
That's a great point by Art Laffer, a very wise and interesting and entertaining friend. But yeah, absolutely, yes, you know, governors should be worried less about more handouts from Washington, D.C., and worried more about what can you do to get the economy growing, because that'll help their citizens directly and will also help state budgets indirectly. Fantastic point.
All state governors believe in cutting taxes. I mean, I think about Illinois, I think about New York and Connecticut, but those are the states from which people are fleeing. They're going to places like Texas and Florida that have zero income tax.
That's right, and so you won't have all the governors, but even if you get 20 or 30 of them speaking with one voice, that's going to make a big difference. Yeah.